What's up, Saints? It's Pastor Jay-Z Cross, Dorcas Freewill Baptist Church, where charity is key. Welcome to Throwback Thursdays. Hopefully this word from the past will bring something better in your future.
Take a trip to the Old Testament and Job, and we're gonna be around some areas. So I'm not gonna specifically talk from one chapter. I'm gonna read various verses from different chapters to show you some things, amen. But we're going to start around the first chapter, and reading from the 11th verse, it says, "But now stretch your hand and touch all that he has, and he will surely curse you to your face. And the Lord said to Satan, Behold, all that he has is in your power. Only do not lay a hand on his person." So Satan went out from the presence of the Lord. Later on in that chapter, around the 20th verse, then Job arose, tore his robe, and shaved his head, and fell to the ground and worshiped, and said, "Naked I came from my mother's womb, and naked shall I return there. The Lord gave, and the Lord has taken away. Blessed be the name of the Lord." In all this, Job did not sin, nor charge God with wrong. And then later in the second chapter, it says, around the 3rd verse, "Then the Lord said to Satan, Have you considered my servant Job, that there is none like him on the earth, a blameless and upright man who fears God and shuns evil, and still holds fast to his integrity, although you incited me against him to destroy him without cause." Then in the 9th verse, it says, "Then his wife said to him, Do you still hold fast to your integrity? Curse God and die." But he said to her, "You speak as a foolish woman speaks. Shall we indeed accept good from God, and shall we not accept adversity?" In all this, Job did not sin with his lips. I just want to talk from the subject, can you survive the assault? Can you survive the assault? Again, I challenge each and every one of us, brothers and sisters. Can you survive the assault that is going on in your life? Can you still hold fast to your faith even though you are being attacked on all sides? Can you still come to church and worship God as though nothing is going wrong in your life? Can you still come with the praises on your mouth? Can you still enter into his courts with praise although hell is all around you? Can you still endure the long suffering of the pain of the process in which you are going through? Can you still have the steadfastness and unmovableness and always abounding in the word of the Lord? Can you still do all of these things while everything around you in the realm of materialism is being stripped from you, while your family's being stripped from you, while your job's being stripped from you, while your health is being stripped from your material goods? Can you still survive the assaults that are going on in your mind or in your body, in your spirit, in your emotions, in your feelings, in your mind? Can you still hold fast and survive the assault? I'm talking to the saints this morning because this word is about a saint. This word is coming from a man who did nothing unjust in the sight of God. I'm talking to us this morning because we have to understand that although you are a child of God, misery, distress, challenge, trials, tribulations will all come to us at one point in time in our life. We will still go through some of the same things that unbelievers go through, and we have to be prepared to be able to survive whatever assault that will come to our house. This man, Job, was known to be an upright and just man. He was known in that land to have wisdom, to have guidance, to have foresight, to have all of these things that he had. And not only did he have the blessings in the spirit, but this man had the blessings in the flesh. He had a great large family. He had camels, ox, he had sheep, he had servants, he had a big house, he had good health, he had a fine wife, he had all of these things that would show that God's blessings was upon his life. And back in that day, what you had on the outside showed how close you were to God on the inside. Do you see what I'm saying? They looked at the results or the fruit of your labor to compare your relationship with God. And since Job had all these things on the outside, it must have meant on the inside that he had to be close to God. And every time the people went to go find out some wisdom or some guidance, they went to Job, because whenever Job said was the truth, everything that he touched came to fruition. He was blessed on all sides. Lo and behold, Satan goes to God and he says, Lord, I know that the reasons why Job serves you is not because of his love for you. It's not because of the relationship. This was so good. Satan is trying to tell God about his relationship with his servant. He's trying to tell God that the reasons why that this man prays to you the way that he does is not because that he loves you like that. It's because the hedge that you have around him, you gave him no reason why not to love you. Do you hear what I'm saying? You gave him no reason why he should turn his back on you, because every time he asks for something, he gets something from you. Do you hear what I'm saying, church? Every time he prays to you, you bless him with more camels, you bless him with more oxen, you bless him with more sheep, you bless him with more servants. He'll be a fool not to love you. You giving him everything. Job don't have to sweat nor work for anything. Everything, people come to talk to him, and you give him words to speak. Job wakes up every morning in his right frame of mind. Nothing's going wrong. He has no pain, no suffering in his life. How? He's never going to turn his back on you, God. You ain't give him a reason why to curse you. You ain't give him a reason why to turn his back on you. You haven't given him a reason why he needs to come down and pray and get to you to ask for something, because you give him everything. I'm a specialist. I know how to get to people. I know what makes people tick. I understand emotions. I understand feelings. I understand habits. I understand characteristics. And I understand that this hedge that you have around Job, I cannot get through. And I understand that since I can't see what's going on the inside because the hedge is around him, I'm assuming that the reasons why he loves you like that is because there is a hedge around him. Job's sitting there kicking back. He's chilling. He's making money. He don't even have to go out of his house to make money no more. He got servants out there working for him. He don't have to do anything. All he does is walk through the land and talk to people, and his money is making money back home. Everything that he's doing is just coming to fruition. He's operating in a higher level that everybody's looking to. People came to and fro to see this man because something was different about this man. Nothing was going wrong in his life. Satan says, well, man, if you just let me go ahead and touch something, just let me go ahead and touch some of the materials that Job has, I know this man, he going to turn his back on you. I know that the reasons why he justifies his love is because of the stuff that he can touch. God says, well, go on here then. Go on here then and touch some of the things that he has. But I know Job better than you know Job. Lo and behold, Satan has free reign to go, and he starts touching some of Job's livestock. He starts touching some of Job's sheep and his camels and all his money, everything. He gets bankrupt in a matter of time, and next thing you know, he's got no money no more. And people start talking like, man, every time something went wrong, there was somebody always left to tell him about the wrong that was going on. They killed his livestock, stole his livestock, killed his servants, but there's always one person left to go run back to Job and say, hey, Job, guess what I found out? Those people came and they stole your camels, and guess what, Job? I heard about your sheep being killed. I guess what, Job? There was a fire in one of your fields, and now your crops is taken. Guess what, Job? Everything, trouble came on all sides from Job. And Job don't understand why this is going on to him. And even at the end of the first chapter, he had a backbreaker. His children were together in the house, and a storm came and killed all his children. And now it hurt Job to a point where he says, I don't know what has gone on. What have I done to get this type of thing to happen to me? I don't understand. And he begins to get down on his knees. He starts to pray, and that's when he came and he rose. He says, naked I came from my mother's womb, and naked shall I return. The Lord gave, and the Lord has taken away. Blessed be the name of the Lord. Lord, I know you gave me everything. Lord, I understand that I got these children because you blessed me. And I understand that I got these crops and livestock because you blessed me. I know that I was an upstanding, upright God person in the land, and I know I attained that because of you. But now, God, now everything is gone. I turn around and I have nothing. I turn around and look in my pockets. My pockets are empty. I can't pay my bills no more. I can't get transportation no more. I have no more credit because now my integrity is gone, because people base my integrity on what I have, and now I have nothing. So that means my integrity with the people has fallen down, and I have trouble on every hand. But in spite of this, I know that it came from you, but I'm still going to bless your name in spite of what I'm going through. I'm still going to bless your name with no money in my pockets. I'm still going to bless my name. Although I love my children and all my children is gone, I'm still going to bless your name. Although I have no more servants, I'm still going to bless your name with no crops. I'm still going to bless your name with no livestock. I still got to bless your name, Father. Can you get to the point where everything around you is taken away from you, and you still find some place in your spirit to bless God? Can you go through the point in time of your life where you got no money in the bank, you got no money in your pocket, your gas tank is on E, and you can't find your way, and you still find some place in your spirit to say, God, I still thank you. God, I still worship you. God, I still bless you. God, you're a marvelous God. God, you're a mighty God. What a mighty God we serve. Angels bow before you. Heaven and earth adore you. What a mighty God we serve. God, I looked at my closet and I had to sell my clothes. I got no more clothes, but I'm still gonna bless you. God, I had to move out of my 5-bedroom home, and now I got an efficiency, and everybody's talking bad about me. My world has been turned upside down, but I'm still finding a way to bless you, because when I came into this world, I didn't have these things. When I came into this world, I had no money. When I came into this world, I had no children. So I know that I got to bless you, because although you're taking me back to my origin point, I know that you are God. Job, till his close, and he said this to God. Years go by. Time goes by. He can't afford a haircut no more. He's looking scraggly. Can't afford to buy new clothes no more. He's unemployed. Has no integrity. People stop coming to him. They would come to him for their benefit, but they didn't come to him while he needed some benefits. Job's going to and fro, trouble on every hand. Can't go back into his house no more because his house is gone. Next thing you know, years go by and Satan goes back to God. Come on now, somebody. Have you ever been in a place where Satan seems to always be seeking you out and finding out how I can get to you? Have you ever been in a place in your life where you have trouble after trouble and problem after problem and challenge after challenge, and you keep asking God, how is this happening to me? Because I'm serving you. Satan goes to God. He says, I know I touched everything that he has, and I know I touched his money, and I know I touched his material things. But I know if you give me a little more leeway to touch something that he can't get help with, I know he will turn and curse you. He said, skin for skin. I know oh God, man, oh my God. The reason why I know this, God, because God asked him a question. He said, Satan, what have you been doing with your time? And he said to God, I have been going to and fro, seeking whom I can devour. God, I'm a specialist in devising plans that will bring down your strongest saints. I am a specialist in attacking people on certain angles. What I do is I plant a seed and I go for a while and I let that thing pour down. Oh, God. I let it pour down on them, and I let that endurance begin to fade, and I let that steadfastness begin to fade, and that patience begin to get tested, and then I come back again, and I hit them with a knockout punch. That's why I waited. I waited some time because I wanted Job's power to get low. I wanted Job to feel what it was like not to have. I wanted Job to feel like it is to have no integrity. But I'm not done with him yet. God, why don't you let me touch his body? Let me get a hold to his body. And I guarantee you, God, that he will curse you and rather die. Come on, somebody. Do you know what I'm talking about? Lo and behold, Satan leaves the presence of God, and he goes back and operates in the flesh. And he starts putting the sickness on Job, and he had boils, and next thing you know, he's in sackcloth and ashes trying to scratch himself. It said he used a pottery clay and broke it and scraped the boils off of his skin. He looks bad now, smells bad. He has no money now. He has nothing. His health is taken Now his wife goes and talks, and she looks at the man that she once loved and looks back at what he used to look like, what he used to do for her, what he used to be able to buy for her, and he can't do none of that now. Oh, God. Man, oh, man. Back in that society, the man had to provide. It was nothing about this new day stuff where the woman worked and the father worked. Mandatory. The man had to bring home the bacon. The woman stayed in the house and raised the children. But now, Job, you are doing nothing for me. You got no money. I can't do this no more. God, why don't just die? Curse your God and die. Put it out your misery. Just get on over this thing and just go ahead and move on. Job's like, I got no kids to talk to. I can't talk to my kids about this thing. I can't talk to my advisors no more. I don't have no advisors no more. I don't have my wife now. My best friend don't want to talk to me about my problems no more. I am alone, and now after I deal with my wife, I tell her with the last shred of strength I had, woman, you a foolish woman. You're talking crazy. I got to accept the good things that God has done, so I have to accept the adversities in which he's also I have got to take the good with the bad. I got to understand that this world is not a sugar-covered raindrop, that I have to go through some stuff sometimes, and I got to understand that there has to be a way out of no way. I can't die in this place. Soon as he gets done dealing with his wife, his boys come to him. You see, Job is being assaulted in every realm of his body. He's being afflicted in the physical flesh. He's being afflicted in his emotions. He's being afflicted in his feelings. He's being afflicted in his mind. He's being afflicted in his spirit. And I'll get there right after this. My boys come into town, and they start talking and trying to comfort me. And then next thing you know, their comfort starts turning into trash talking and trying to I had a conversation with a smart person, a doctor, and they began to tell me that a lot of physicians have issues dealing with the spirit because it's something out of the realm of the flesh. It's something that you can't to deliver yourself on your hands. You have to rely on something called a spirit that you have no control over. You have to invoke the spirit. But when you deal with the flesh, it's in your control. He's dealing with people who are dealing with the laws, dealing with Old Testament teachings, dealing with the Mosaic prophecies and the Torah and the Pentateuch, the first five chapters and books in the Bible. And he's dealing with these folks saying, hey, Job, you must have done something wrong. In order for you to be in this situation, you must have sinned against God. Examine yourself and see what you have done wrong. And Job's searching to and fro over his life, and he can't find nothing wrong. Next thing you know, he starts being afflicted in the spirit. Oh, I'm getting there, somebody. He now is at his last straw. My wife ain't paying me no mind. I got no kids. My boys is gone. My servants is gone. But at least I've got God. And now he's at the point that every time I call God, he is silent. Woo! Oh, come on. Have you been there, somebody? Where now I'm at my last cry, and I'm praying to God, and God ain't answering me. Woo! Have you ever been there and you have been all out and you're trying to find your way and you pray to God and God is just like crickets? How can you do this to me, God, when I served you so hard? I served you and I prayed for my kids The sin was not on me, but it was on my kids, and I prayed, and now you're forsaking me. Do you, oh God, have you ever been there? God is going to take some of us to some places where he's going to have to move the hedge back from around us. And we will be subject to the world. And he's trying to let us know that we can still survive. Even though you don't hear my voice, you can still survive when it does not feel that I have my presence around you. You can still survive because what I put in you will take you through the times when it seems like you have nothing. Oh, somebody. Satan may think that the only reason why you love God is because he got you cleaned up. You hear what I'm saying now? Oh, come on now. He may think that you serve him because you got you out of a bad situation with your husband or wife. Or Satan may think that you serve and love God because of what he did for you. And so he tries another way to come at you so to show God that you are not loving him because of what he does. We have to understand that while we go through this process, we are not going to understand why. And that is one of the strongholds of many Christians, is the fact that we are trying to understand why we are going through our process and why calamity is on our every hand instead of trying to lean and depend on God. That's why Job began to get delirious in his situation. It said that he started talking crazy out of his mind because he was being assaulted in the flesh, and he was being assaulted in the spirit, and he began to say stuff like, why do you not pardon my offense and forgive my sin? For I soon lie down in the dust. You will starch from me, you will take from me, but I will be no more. Then he starts saying, I cry out to you, God, but you don't answer. I stand up, but you merely look down at me. He's going through mess all in his head. And I know that many of us go through mess in our heads while we go through our process because God, we called on him and he's not answering us when we want him to answer us, and we go through a long period of long suffering and we begin to get in our mind, well, what have I done? I must have sinned. You start feeling guilty over stuff that you've already been forgiven of. Oh, man. I have been there sometimes when I begin to go through my struggles. I begin to search my life over, and I say, well, God, you must be paying me back for a sin that I did a couple years ago. And it's finally coming my way to hit me, and you're rewarding me for my wrongdoing. And I'm trying to quantify or understand, why I'm in my predicament, because currently in my current state I'm serving you and I'm doing right by your sight, but something is going wrong in my life. Are you coming back for some of the stuff that I did in the past and you're paying me back for it now? I'm trying to understand it, and I start getting confused and I start getting frustrated about my situation. And God is saying, you still have got to endure it. I don't understand. I'm here every Sunday praising your name. I'm here doing what I'm supposed to do. But why is it when as soon as I leave this church, everything is wrong with my life? Job starts contemplating within himself. He starts searching himself. He says, well, God, I know I didn't sin, but I know I'm starting to understand something different about this process. It's not because you are punishing me. It's not because of something that I did in the past. It was my mind trying to understand why I'm going through the process. Oh. We get comforted in our challenges when we understand why. Do you hear what I'm saying? You can go through your stuff easier when you understand why you are going through it. But the whole challenge, the whole spirituality comes in play when you don't understand why you go through. But in spite of what you don't understand, you still keep pushing. Job, well, God, I don't understand it now. But it must be for a purpose. I know that I've got what I had in the past because you was in my life, and maybe, just maybe, you just want me to survive it. Maybe, just maybe, you have a purpose for this because I know it's coming from you, and I know that maybe you're being quiet because you're trying to see how I act in your quietness. Maybe you're not speaking to me because you're trying to see how I react when you are quiet, how I conduct myself while you're quiet, if I forgive myself while you are quiet, if I reveal myself to you while I'm quiet. I need to go through this process. Somebody act like they ain't gone through no process. I have to find myself in my pain. I've got to find myself in my mess. I've got to find myself where I am in a process of being destitute. Lo and behold, Job finds himself, and he understands fully what God is going through. And his 19 years has transpired. Keeping his faith, keeping his long suffering, keeping his hope alive, even when hope was being stripped from him on every side. God comes to him. He gets the revelation. His friends now begin to look at how this man has got a double portion of what he had from the beginning. Matter of fact, now they have to open their pockets up to Job because he learned how to survive the assault from Satan. God, we have to understand that God will use us to show Satan. God will use us to show Satan. God will use us to show Satan how we love him, how we adore God, how we adore what we are going through, how we have been taught how to go through long suffering, how we have been taught to endure the storm, because according to Satan, he knows everything. And we have to learn that it's not in the fleshly realm that we live in, it's in the spirit. We have to get to the point now that it doesn't matter what happens in the flesh as long as our spirit man is being increased. You see, every time you go through a mess, you have a message. Every time you go through a test, you got a testimony. Every time you go through pain, you have a praise. You have to understand that you got to have some good to get some bad. You have to understand that there has to be some bad for you to get some good. And you have to know that God is taking you through a process to make you better than what you were. I heard the name, there's a devil on every level. Every time you go up, you must meet a new enemy. There's a new angle that's coming to your way because it's only sharpening you and making you better than what you were before. That if it's not a fleshly attack, now it's going to be a mental attack. If it's not a mental attack, it's going to be a health attack. It's going to be all of these attacks to test how far you have made it in your walk. And the only way you know how close you are to God is to have a challenge. It has to be a challenge that no doctor can cure. It has to be a challenge that no lawyer can fix in the courtroom. It has to be a challenge that no finance manager can help. It has to be put you in a place where you are alone, when you are lonely, when you can't call nobody, when no one can help your situation, when you are alone and crying and tearing up, that even when God does not seem to be there, you have to be in that situation. Can you survive? Can you survive, Dorcas? Do you have that gully in your stomach that no matter what you go through, no matter what happens, you know that God is going to help you out? Do you have that? God is good. God is good. Can you survive the assault?